Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, December 6, 2023. Today we'll recap the college basketball, NBA, and NHL from yesterday. Look ahead to everything today, as well as soccer. We have reality TV to get into, news and notes, and best bet. It's not a lot, but it is a lot. College basketball is where we'll begin. We'll go over all the results from yesterday, and we have a big window for today. So bear with me. Just pulling it up from yesterday. BC over Central Con 82-68. Army over Lemoyne 68-51. UMass over Fisher 117-69. From the Garden, number 20 Illinois over number 11 FAU 98-89. Number 17 Tennessee over George Mason 87-66. Winthrop over Queens 88-82. Delaware over Xavier 87-80. Number 19, Oklahoma over Providence, 72-51. Number 23, Wisconsin over Michigan State, 70-57. Albany over New York Potsdam, 98-59. The Citadel over Pfeiffer, 88-60. Delaware State over Gwynn Mersey, 105-58. Florida Gulf Coast over New College, Florida, 87-54. Charlotte over Stetson, 85-62. Kennesaw State over UNC Asheville, 79-76 in OT. Columbia over Lafayette, 83-72. Akron over Bradley, 67-52. Princeton over Drexel, 81-70. Liberty over Mississippi Valley State, 74-39. North Florida over Ed Waters, 99-47. High Point over West Carolina, 97-71. Notre Dame over Western Michigan, 86-65. George Washington over Navy, 79-77 in OT. Florida over Merrimack, 77-57. Virginia over NC Central, 77-47. Kansas State over Villanova, 72-71 in OT. La Tech over Stephen F. Austin, 56-49. Georgia over Georgia Tech, 76-62. Yale Monroe over Champion Christian, 110-63. New Orleans over Belhaven, 79-65. Middle Tennessee State over Missouri State, 77-73. Number 2, Kansas over UMKC, 88-69. Tarleton State over Hardin-Simmons, 92-56. Austin Peay over Midway, 98-44. Ole Miss over Mount St. Mary's, 77-68. Indiana State over Northern Illinois, 90-67. Syracuse over Cornell, 87-70 or 81-70. Utah Valley over Weber State, 70-54. App State over Central Penn, 111-35. McNeese over Mississippi University, 92-23. Wyoming over San Diego Psych, 80-59. Tulsa over Loyola Chicago, 88-77. Butler over Buffalo, 72-59. Number 5, UConn over number 9, North Carolina, 87-76. Number 6, Baylor over Seton Hall, 78-60. Number 7, Gonzaga over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 111-71. Number 14, BYU over Evansville, 96-55. Grand Canyon over number 25, San Diego State, 79-73. Montana over Monsignor, 91-67. Boise over North Texas, 69-64. Indiana over Michigan, 78-75. So best bet wins, and Indiana wins outright. Utah over Southern Utah, 88-86. Southern Illinois over Oklahoma State, 70-68. UC San Diego over Occidental, 98-67. Idaho over Pacific, 83-53. Kent State over South Dakota State, 82-73. Bakersfield over Whittier, 106-58. St. Mary's over Cleveland State, 70-57. Fresno over Idaho State, 79-67. Washington over Montana State, 85-61. Monster window today. We should have a game at 11 o'clock between South Alabama and Mercer. My line here is Mercer by 2 3/4. And it is all right, let's see. I pulled up the NBA by mistake. 3.5 and 131.5. I'll take the over. We can skip North Texas, Dallas, Texas, Arlington, and FDU, Florida, and Penn. All right, 6 o'clock, UMBC, Morgan State, Morgan State, 1.5, and it's UMBC, 3.5, total. 165.5, I'll take Morgan State plus points and plus 136 outright. Although I'd love the under, too. ACC Network, Rutgers, Wake. My line is Wake by 3/4. And it's 3.5 and 140.5. I'll take Rutgers plus the points. Loyola, Maryland, and LaSalle at 6:30. My line is LaSalle by 11 1/4. It's 10.5 and 143.5. I'll take the under. Stonehill and Stony Brook. My line is Stony Brook by 10. And it's 10.5 and 144.5. I'll take the over. 7 o'clock. LIU at number 15, Miami. Miami by 30 3/4. And it is 28.5 and 154.5. I'll lay it with Miami. Big Ten Network, Penn State, Maryland. Maryland by 13. And it's 7.5 and 139.5. I'll lay the points. Florida A&M and Presbyterian. Presbyterian by 12.5. And I cannot. Oh, here it is. 8.5 and 136.5. I'll lay the points. Vermont State, Linden, and Colgate we can skip. Campbell, Davidson. My line is Davidson 8.5. And it is 13.5 and 130.5. I'm going to take Campbell getting the points. That's high. Wofford, Gardner-Webb. My line's Gardner-Webb by 7 3/4. And it's 7.5 and 147.5. I like the over, but I don't feel good about it. Valpo, Central Michigan. My line's Central Michigan 5 1/4. And it's 3.5 and 140.5. I'll take the over. Usually max games are over. Bryant, Siena. My line's Bryant 7.5. And it is 8.5 and 140.5. Tough one. I'm gonna go under. Robert Morris and Canisius. My line's Canisius by 12 1/4. And it's 5.5 and 142.5. I'll lay the points. Vermont Northeastern. My line's Vermont by 5 3/4. And we have 2.5 and 138.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 on the road in Vermont. Bloomsburg, Temple, we can skip. Wagner, Coppin State. My line is Wagner by 2.5. And we have 5.5 and 122.5. I'll take Coppin State plus the points. And GIT, Fordham. My line is Fordham by 21.5. And it's 18.5 and 141.5. I'll lay it with Fordham. Youngstown State, Ohio. My line's Ohio by 10. And it's 8.5 and 155.5. Oh, I'll take the over as well here. Ball State, Detroit. My line is Ball State by 10.5. And it's 1.5 and 134.5. I'll lay the 1.5 on the road with Ball State. Maryland's Eastern Shore and NC State. My line's NC State by 18 1/4. And we have 26.5 and 147.5. I'm going to take Eastern Shore in the points. Old Dominion and William & Mary. My line is Old Dominion by 4 3/4. And it is 4.5 and 144.5. Tough one. But I'm going to take the over. Duquesne Marshall. My line is Duquesne by 11 1/4. And it's 5.5 and 156.5. I'll lay the 5.5 on the road with Duquesne. Hofstra, Iona. My line is Hofstra by 3/4. And it's 2.5 and 150.5. I'm going to take the under. That's a high one. UMass Towson. Mine's Towson by 3 3/4. And it's UMass 2.5 total 133.5. I'm going to take Towson getting the points and plus 120 outright. CBS Sports Network, Sacred Heart St. John's. Is this being played at MSG or at the Lou? All right, it's at the Lou. St. John's by 15 is my projection. And it's 22.5 and 157.5. I'll take Sacred Heart in the point. That's a lot. Next up is Toledo, Oakland. My line is Oakland 3 1/4. And we have 1.5 and 153.5. I'll take the over. Brown, Rhode Island. Mine's Rhode Island 2.5. And it is 3.5 and 141.5. I'll take the over here too, but I don't feel good about it. Miami of Ohio and Ohio State. Mine's Ohio State by 12. And it's 23.5 and 143.5. I'll take the point. Maine, BU. My line is BU by 1. And it's Maine by 2.5. Total 139.5. I'll take BU plus the points and plus 112 outright. American St. Joe's. My line is St. Joe's by 11 3/4. And it's 14.5 and 142. And I'll take American getting the points. Fairfield, Yale. My line is Yale by 10 1/4. And it's 16.5 and 143.5. I'll take Fairfield in the points. ESPNU, Memphis, VCU. My line is I'll pick 'em. And it is Memphis 2.5 total 141.5. I'll take VCU in the points. And plus 108 outright. They're home, so I not take them outright. Jacksonville, UCF. My line is UCF by 9, and it is 14.5 and 140.5. I'll take Jacksonville in the points. St. Bonaventure, Niagara. My line is St. Bonaventure by 17. On the road, and it's 7.5 and 135.5. I'll lay it with St. Bonaventure. New Hampshire, Dartmouth. My line is a pick'em. And New Hampshire's giving 1.5. Totals 146.5. I'll take the under. 7:30 House State and Southeast Missouri State. We can skip. 8 o'clock. Rice against number 3 Houston. My line is Houston by 16 and 3/4, and it's 27.5 and 140.5. I'll take Rice in the points. On Fox Sports 1, number 12 Texas, number 8 Marquette, game of the night. My line is Marquette by 1 1/4, and it's 8.5. That's way too high. Total's 150.5. Give me Texas plus the points. Way too high. ACC New York, South Carolina, number 24 Clemson. Mine's Clemson 12.5, and it's 8.5 and 139.5. I'll lay it with Clemson. Southwest Adventist, Houston Christian. We can skip. Texas Rio Grande and A&M Corpus Christi. Mine's Corpus Christi by 8. And it's 4.5 and 153.5. I'll lay the points. Milwaukee and St. Thomas. My line is St. Thomas 2 1/4. And it's 5.5 and 140.5. I'll take Milwaukee in the points. San Fran Vandy. My line is San Fran by 3 3/4. And it's 2.5 and 138.5. I'll take the over, but I don't feel strong about it. Western Illinois. We can skip. St. Louis Drake. My line is Drake by 8 1/4. And it's 15.5 and 151.5. I'll take St. Louis in the points. That's a lot of points. Green Bay and SIU Edwardsville. My line is Edwardsville 19 3/4. And it's 6.5 and 128.5. I'll lay the points with Edwardsville. That's small. Richmond, Northern Iowa. My line's Northern Iowa by Northern Iowa by 2.5. And it is exactly that. Total's 143.5. I'll take the over. Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Southern Indiana. My line is Purdue, Fort Wayne by 5. And it's 6.5 and 148.5. I'll take the over. Northern Arizona and Abilene Christian. Mine's Abilene Christian 5.5. And it's 8.5, 139.5. I'll take Northern in the points. Omaha, Texas Tech. Mine's Texas Tech by 12 1/4. And it's 20.5 and 143.5. I'll take Omaha in the points. Northern Kentucky and Illinois State. My line is Northern by 7. And it's Illinois State by 2.5. Total 133.5. I'll take Northern in the points. 10 plus. 116 outright. Lipscomb, Belmont. My line is Lipscomb by 3 3/4. And it's Belmont by 3.5, total 163.5. Give me Lipscomb plus 152 outright. 9 o'clock, Denver, number 13, Colorado State. Mine's Colorado State by 17. And it's 20.5 and 159.5. I'll take Denver in the points. SEC Network, DePaul, number 21, Texas A&M. Mine's A&M by 14.25, and it's 19.5 and 146.5. I'll take DePaul to cover. UC Santa Barbara, New Mexico. My line is New Mexico by 9. And it's 13.5 and 156. I'll take Santa Barbara in the points. Big Ten Network, Nebraska, Minnesota. Mine's Nebraska 2.5. And it is exactly that. Total is 147.5. I'll take the over, but I don't feel good about it. San Diego, Utah State. My line's Utah State by 2.25. And it's 19.5 and 143.5. I'll take San Diego in the points. That's a lot of points for Utah State to be favored by. UC Davis, Nebraska. Mine's or Nevada. Mine's Nevada 8.5, and it's 14.5 and 143.5. I'll take UC Davis in the points. Next up, UNLV Dayton on CBS Sports Network. My line is Dayton 15.5. And it's 7.5 and 133.5. I'll lay the points. ESPN2, Pitt, West Virginia. My line's West Virginia by 1. And it's Pitt 4.5, total 137. I'll take West Virginia in the points plus 146 outright. They have to win this game. The Mountaineers do. Life Pacific, Long Beach, we can skip. Lewis and Clark, Portland State, we can skip. We have 4 more left. 10 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, SMU, Arizona State. Mine's Arizona State 3.5. And it's 2.5 and 142.5. I'll take the over. UC Riverside, Wazoo, Pac-12 Network. My line's Wazoo 13 3/4. And it's 13.5 and 135.5. I'll take the over. Cal State, Fullerton, and Pepperdine. My line's Pepperdine 9.25. And it's 3.5 and 143.5. I'll lay the points. And Utah Tech, Cal Baptist. My line is Cal Baptist 11 3/4. And it's 9.5 and 137.5. I'll lay the points with Cal Baptist. Okay, now move on to the NBA. We will go over the in-season tournament results from yesterday. Look ahead to a regular window for tonight, 11 games. We have to project and pick. All right, quarterfinals, Eastern Conference, Bucks over the Knicks, 146-122. Bucks move on to Vegas. Knicks, great run, but they couldn't stop anybody on a lick. They couldn't stop Giannis, and they couldn't stop Dame. Randall was terrific, but they collapsed in the second half. But not for nothing. If you're the Knicks, you don't want to be playing in games that don't count towards the standings, only for Jalen Brunson to get injured or whatever. So, blessing in disguise, probably. But good for the Bucks, who needed to silence some doubters here. In the Western Conference in the quarterfinals, Lakers over the Suns 106-103. You knew this was going to be a big, we're the Lakers, I'm LeBron James type of game for the Lakers, even though it was only by 3. LeBron made some big shots. Austin Reeves hit a big 3 late in the game. And we have some big stars and some unexpected teams in Vegas. We have LeBron, we have AD, we have Giannis and Dame, we have Zion, we have Brandon Ingram, we have Tyrese Halliburton. So, an interesting Final Four, to say the least, with Bucks, Pacers, and the other side, Lakers, Pelicans. So, AD against his former team. That's a lot of fun for that game. All right, big window tonight. Like I said, 11 games. The only teams that are not playing tonight are the teams that played Monday and Tuesday in the quarterfinals. 7 o'clock, Magic Cavs. My line's Cavs 4.5, total 223 and 3/20. And it is 4 and 223. Oh, my God. Right there. Slightly in Cleveland. Grizzlies, Pistons. My line is Grizzlies by 3, total 222 and 9/20. And it is 2 and 219 over. Sixers, Wizards. Mine's Sixers 9.5, total 237 and 11/20. And it's 10.5 and 239.5. Slight under. Heat Raptors at 7:30. My line is the Raptors by 9.25, total 224 and 2 fits. And it's 3.5 and 220. I love the Raptors. I'm laying the points. No Bam, no Harrow. Nets Hawks. My line is Hawks 8.25, total 238 and 720. It's 3.5 and 241.5. I'm going to lay the 3.5 with the Atlanta Hawks as well. 7:30 ESPN Spurs Timberwolves. So you have Wemby against Ant-Man. My line's Timberwolves by 18, total 227 and the 20th, and it's 12 and 228.5. I'm going to lay the 12 with the Timberwolves. Next up, Hornets Bulls at 8. My line is the Bulls by 5.25, total 228 and 2 fits. And it's 4.5 and 221. I like the over. Thunder Rockets. My line is the Thunder by 4.75, so 224 and a fifth. And it's 2.5 and 226.5. Under. 8:30 Jazz Mavs. My line's by Mavs by 15.75, so 233 and 2 fits. And it's 10 and 230.5. I'm laying the 10 with the Mavericks. No Markkanen and Clarkson in this game for Utah. Next up, Blazers, Warriors at 10. Mine's Warriors 14 to 223 and the 5th. And it's 13 and 226 under. Because the Blazers offense stinks. And last but not least, at 10 o'clock on ESPN, Nuggets Clippers. Rematch from the other day when both Nugget stars missed the game and they won outright. My line is Nuggets by 2.75, total 223 3/4, and it is Clippers by 1, total 227. That's a hard one because I have a 3 3/4 edge on the Nuggets. And I have a 3 1/4 edge on the under. So I'm going to take the Nuggets getting the 1 and -104 outright. Okay, now move on to the NHL. We'll recap yesterday's results. And tonight's window is small compared to yesterday. I think there's only 3 games. Wednesdays are usually small. On Wednesday. So, results: Kings over the Blue Jackets 4-3 in OT. Sens over the Rangers 6-2. Wings over the Sabres 5-3. Sharks over the Isles 5-4 in OT. Preds over the Blackhawks 4-3 in the shootout. Avs over the Ducks 3-2. Wild over the Flames 5-2. And the Devils over the Canucks 6-5 in the Hughes Bowl. All right, 4 games. That's my mistake. 7 o'clock, you have the Pens at the Lightning. Rematch of the game the other day where Pens goalie Tristan Jarry scored a goal. Lightning -137, Pens +114, over under 6.5, overs -112, unders -108. Pens +1.5 is -10, Lightning -1.5 is +172. I like the over. Both teams are, take away the ties, or not the ties, but shootouts, OTs, both 11 and 10. Pens 11-10-3, Lightning 11-10-5. So the Lightning have played 2 more games. On TNT, you have the Stars and the Panthers. Decent game. Could have been the Stanley Cup Final last year. Panthers -118, Dallas -102, over under 6.5, overs +106, unders -130. Stars +1.5 is -15, Panthers -1.5 is +198. I'm going to lay it the -118 with the Panthers. There's a reason they're favored, so I'm going to take the Panthers. 9 o'clock, Golden Knights Blues. Vegas -160, Blues +132, over under 5.5, overs -138, unders +112. Vegas -1.5 is +152, Blues +1.5 is -114. This is a hard one, but I'm going to lay the puck line with Vegas. And last but not least, on TNT, Canes Oilers. Oilers -118, Canes -102, over under 6.5, overs -130, unders +106. Canes +1.5 is -240, Oilers -1.5 is +195. How many games back or points back? Oh, the Rangers are way ahead of Carolina. They're 8 points ahead. Holy crap. Even with the loss last night, the Rangers have created a nice gap in that division. But so Oilers are catching up, almost 500. They've been better on their knob-block, and I think they've earned my respect a little bit. So I'm going to lay the minus 118. Saving with Florida, there's a reason Edmonton's a minus. So I'm going to lay the minus 118 with Edmonton. Okay, now move on to soccer. We will go over the results and look ahead to today a little bit. We'll start with the Premier League. Wolves over Burnley 1-0. Arsenal over Luton 4-3. All right, today 2:30 you have Brighton and Brentford. Brighton minus 120, Brentford plus 310, draw plus 280. Brighton's the rightful favorite in the spot, going under 2.5 goals plus 125. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. Crystal Palace plus 120, Bournemouth plus 240, draw plus 230. Bournemouth is in 16th, Palace is in 16th. I'm going to go with the draw here at plus 230. Fulham and Nottingham Forest. Fulham plus 105, Nottingham plus 290, draw plus 230. They're right next to each other in the standings as well. I'm going to take the draw here at plus 230. Sheffield United and Liverpool. Liverpool's the best team in this league. They're minus 650. Sheffield's 14-1. The draw 7-1. I'm going to go under 3.5 goals at plus 104. 315 Aston Villa and Man City. The 3 and the 4 in this league. Man City's a big favorite, minus 150. Villa's plus 370, draw plus 320. I'm going with the draw plus 320. I think Villa can hang around, and they're hot. Man United and Chelsea. That's another big one. Man United is plus 180, Chelsea plus 145, and the draw's plus 250. United's in 7th. And Chelsea's in 10th. I'm actually going to take Chelsea outright. They're favored. I'm taking a plus 145. Okay, we'll do Copa del Rey next. Getafe over Azenetto 2-1. Espanyol over Valladolid 3-1. Valencia over Oroso 1-0. And Castellón over Real Oviedo 2-1. Right, just getting underway. Real Sociedad and Andrax 0-0. Salamanca and Sporting. Salamanca's up 1-0. Terrassa and Alaves. And Montero and Burgos, it's a 1-1 draw right now. Results so far from today. Adi Alcoran and FC Cartagena 0-0 draw, but Cartagena advances 5-4 on penalties. Tenerife over Deportivo 3-2. Huesca over Antequera CF 2-0. Rayo over Yaclano 2-0. And Barbastro over Almeria 1-0. All right, going on today, we don't have time to pick. 11 o'clock, Malaga and Aldense. 1 o'clock, Levante and Amberita. Lugo and Mirandes. Uegas and Mallorca. Villavese and Betis. 3 o'clock, CD. Tulano and Las Palmas. And Astorga and Sevilla. And we have more tomorrow in Copa del Rey. Coppa Italia result. Lazio over Genoa 1-0. And today, 3 o'clock, you have Fiorentina and Parma. This is one that we may have. Just hang on, folks. I'm sorry. Yes, Fiorentina minus 220. Parma's plus 550. Draw plus 320. Fiorentina should be favored. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at even money. DFB Pokal. F. Dusseldorf over Magdeburg 2-1. Kaiserslautern over Nuremberg 2-0. Gladbach over Wolfsburg 1-0 in extra time. And St. Pauli over Hamburg 4-1. All right, today 12:40 or 12 o'clock, you have Leverkusen and Paderborn. Leverkusen's minus 1,000. Paderborn is 16-1. The draw's plus 950. I'm going to go Leverkusen minus 2.5 and even money. Saarbrücken and Frankfurt. Frankfurt minus 190. Saarbrücken plus 460. Draw plus 330. I'm going over 3.5 goals plus 142. 245. Hertha and Hamburg. Hertha plus 150. Hamburg plus 145. Draw plus 280. I'm going to go with the draw plus 280. And then ESPN2 at 245. Stuttgart and Dortmund. Stuttgart plus 105. Dortmund plus 200. Draw plus 270. I'm going to go with Stuttgart plus 105. All right, women's friendlies. Colombia over New Zealand 1-0. Chile over Peru 6-0. U.S. over China 2-1. And Canada over Australia 1-0. And then today you have Brazil and Nicaragua. All right, Europa League, we have one game today. It's 3 o'clock. You have Villarreal and Maccabi Haifa. Villarreal minus 280. Haifa plus 650. The draw's 4-1. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 154. French League 1 today, 3 o'clock. Marseille and Lyon. Marseille right now is in 9th. And then Lyon's in last. Marseille's probably a big favorite. And they are minus 105. Lyon's plus 360. Draw plus 270. So I'm going under 2.5 goals at plus 118. And then we have first leg, Athletic San Luis and America. In the Liga playoffs. So CF America is minus 125. Athletic San Luis 3-1. The draw's plus 280. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at minus 108. All right, that was a lot of soccer today, obviously. All right, Masked Singer. So today is going to be Group B's final. We had Group A's final last week where there was supposed to be 2 unmaskings, but it turned out there was only 1 because they saved Gazelle with the bell. Cal won Group A, so Cal's going to move on to the finals. Gazelle's going to be in the finals. That's going to be a fantastic rematch of the Battle Royale. S'more was unmasked last week, and it was Ashley Parker Angel. So, we are going to see Sea Queen, Husky, and Tiki. So those are pretty interesting contestants. I think Sea Queen is probably the favorite to go to the final. So Tiki and Husky, I think, are going home. So last we saw these guys, Tiki performed Magic by Pilot. It was I forget the theme of the night. I think it was Harry Potter night. Yes. And then Husky performed Super Freak by Rick James. And Sea Queen performed Love Portion number 9 by The Searchers. My guesses right now: Tiki, Justin Hawkins, Husky, R. Kelly, and Sea Queen, Whoopi Goldberg. And I think Sea Queen moves on, and the other two get unmasked. And let's face it, Gazelle is better than both Tiki and Husky, so they did the right thing by using the bell last week. And Gazelle's better than the Group C people, too. All right, Survivor. We talked about Survivor on the podcast on Monday. Should be an interesting episode ahead. So we have left Austin, D, Drew, Emily, Jake, Julie, and Katura. I think that they all have a chance to win, maybe except for Jake, because he's just a flawed player, in my opinion. Right now, my pick to win is Drew. I think he's smart, and I think that he's due to come through, and he's one of these immunity challenges. Mama J, someone who I had as my winner pick last week, but the previews for tonight's episode made me nervous. So instead, I picked her to win immunity. And then, I believe that next out is going to be an Austin Blindside. Again, pulled off by the wonderful Emily. And the rest of the Balo holdovers. And then maybe Julie votes with them. Who knows? Because Julie voted with them last week. All right. News and notes. We have to start with baseball. The New York Yankees are in the news right now. Last night, they acquired Alex Verdugo from the Boston Red Sox for 3 right-handed pitchers, Greg Weissert, and 2 other ones. Weissert showed some promise at the end of last season. And Richard Fitz and Nicholas Judas are the others going in the deal. But the most important thing here is this does not preclude them from getting Juan Soto. If they get Juan Soto, then I'm not going to have that strong of opinion on the deal. But if they don't get Juan Soto, then I'm not a fan of the deal. This is somebody that's been traded multiple times already. He was the quote-unquote prize of the Mookie Betts deal, and Verdugo, someone that's had problems with Alex Cora, who's close with Aaron Boone. Maybe the Yankees just want to take a chance with a guy in a contract year that's a lefty and can take advantage of short porch, which I could see that. The Yankees do need lefty bats, but he's not a good defensive player. He could be a DH type of player and play in the outfield. He has played center field before, but apparently not well. But if they get Juan Soto, I'll feel better about this trade, because then they could play Judge in center, and then Soto in right and Verdugo in left, or they could flip those 2 players and rotate DH with Stanton. So, again, if they get Juan Soto, I'll feel better about the deal. And as it turns out, the Yankees are gaining momentum in Juan Soto talks, according to Yes Network's Jack Curry, who is very in the know with the Yankees and is usually right when it comes to Yankee news. So I feel much better about the Yankees getting Juan Soto now than I did 12 hours ago after they acquired Verdugo. So the media knows more than I do, obviously, and hopefully the media is right and the Yankees land their guy in Juan Soto. And Cashman and Boone have been very open about wanting Juan Soto, and they've been very open about Yamamoto as well. So if they get both of those guys, it's a successful offseason. Then now just go out and go get your two guys that you're so open about. But yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Verdugo, but it's not going to matter if they get Juan Soto because Juan Soto is the guy, and he's the guy they desperately need. And the Yankees are actually confident about Yamamoto and see the Mets, Dodgers, and Giants as their biggest competition for him. So the Yankees are very confident about Yamamoto and Soto, and those are the two guys I predicted that they were going to get before the start of the offseason. So let's see if Madison is correct or not about Soto after all. The other big thing that came out of yesterday is a lot of Ohtani stuff. Is that he met with the Dodgers, and Dave Roberts confirms that the Dodgers met with Shohei a couple days ago at Dodger Stadium. And then Dave Roberts' comments surprised the GM as Dodgers executives refused to talk to Ohtani after Roberts revealed team met with Shohei. Oh my God. The Dodgers might be in trouble because, that might be karma. If they don't talk to him and Ohtani's like, oh yeah, if you let me talk to you, then I'm going to go sign with Toronto or the Cubs or whatever. But maybe the Dodger GM's lying. And speaking of the Dodgers, they're one of the 5 teams in on Lucas Giolito, as well as the Mets and the Red Sox. I think I had Giolito going to the Mets. Apparently, Ohtani said during the season he liked playing or the idea of playing on the Dodgers or the Blue Jays. And that's why those two teams are considered the favorites. And I'd say the Dodgers are slightly favored over the Blue Jays. And then USA Today reported that the Cubs hopes of Ohtani signing there were fading. And then the Cubs said that they have not been told that they were out. And there are at least 4 teams believed to still be contenders for him. And then the Cubs are considering 3-star bats if they miss out on Ohtani. I really hope that Ohtani goes to Chicago because that was my big prediction of the offseason. And it's just the perfect fit for him. And the Cubs are also discussing 1-year and multi-year deals with Rhys Hoskins. So that's interesting. I'm just waiting for that New York Yankees acquire Juan Soto in a trade with the San Diego Padres to come up on my feed here while I'm on the podcast. But if the Yankees pull this off after we're done recording, I'm obviously going to be doing an emergency show. Unless if it happens in the late afternoon, and then I'm going to have to do an emergency show late night tonight. The Mariners are eyeing Cody Bellinger after the Jarred Kelenic trade. White Sox signed Eric Feed, 2 years, $15 million, after Feed was really good in the KBO. After acquiring him in the trade with the Mariners, the Atlanta trades him again, and that's Marco Gonzalez to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that's kind of like a weird trade after acquiring someone. Maybe the Yankees do that with Verdugo. But John Morosi said that they are expected to keep Verdugo. The Orioles are close to a deal with Craig Kimbrell. That would be a nice signing with Batista out next year. They need a closer. The Astros are not trading Alex Bregman as GM Dana Brown calls Alex Bregman a pillar for this club amid rumors. John Heyman says that Yamamoto can get $300 million. That would be insane. The MLB draft lottery took place last night, and winning the lottery was the Cleveland Guardians, so that's a big win for them. And Oakland dropped to 4th, and their GM was not happy about that and said, should have kept the old system. Well, guess what? Then you must love tanking then, and this system was to get rid of tanking. So the Guardians won the draft lottery. The Reds came in 2nd. The Rockies 3rd. The A's 4th. White Sox 5th. 6 through 10. Royals, Cards, Angels, Pirates, Nats. 11 through 15. Tigers, Red Sox, Giants, Cubs, Mariners. And then the last teams in it were Brewers, Rays, or Marlins, Brewers, Rays. So the Mets dropped to 19th because of competitive balance tax stuff. So that's not good for the Mets. Oh, we have a Soto update from Andy Martino. Andy Martino says Juan Soto to the Yankees has that smell. Yankees ownership has not been asked to approve the money changing hands in a potential deal, and players' agents have not been told about a deal. Andy Martino says there's strong optimism that Soto will become a Yankee before long. So it looks like that this is going to get done today. And then Jack Curry of Yes said that a trade's likely too. All right, so that's a lot of baseball. If Soto gets traded, I'm saying it right away. So we talked about the Lakers, the Reeves 3, LeBron MVP chance. But there was a controversial timeout as LeBron was granted a timeout during an apparent loose ball. Yikes. NBA is allowing teams to watch elite high school games in Vegas during in-season tournament as scouts are watching Cooper Flag. I almost said Cooper Cup. Carmelo Anthony said the Pelicans reached out to him and also got interest from China before retiring. NFL, Christian Kirk out week 14 due to the core muscle injury. That's not good for the Jags. And then the Jaguars confirmed that Trevor Lawrence has right ankle sprain, but other tests were clean. So he avoids a serious injury. So that's really good news for the Jaguars. At least Trevor's okay, but Kirk's a big loss. Tommy DeVito will start over Tyrod Taylor on Monday night against the Packers. So I like this move. They've won a couple in a row with DeVito, so I understand why they're keeping DeVito in. But they did win that game with Tyrod Taylor, too, against Washington. Tyrod Taylor gives them a better chance to win. But if you're trying to tank, Tommy DeVito is better off doing that. Although DeVito's played well, but they only scored 10 points against the Patriots and technically 24 against Washington because one of those was a defensive touchdown. So I think those games have been lucky, but if they beat Green Bay, they're right back into the playoff mix. So, quite frankly, the Giants are doing the right thing by starting DeVito over Tyrod. I think there would have been a lot of outrage if they started Tyrod. But at the same time, if they really were trying to make the playoffs, Tyrod would have been the move. The Athletic details Carolina's Hunger Games culture in mid-1-11 season. Oh, my God. The Jets cut Tim Boyle. Jordan Schultz says no Harbaugh in Chicago. That's interesting. As Eric Bieniemy will be on the Bears' radar. Yikes. That's somebody that left the Chiefs after winning the Super Bowl and really hasn't done the best job at Washington. I really think Bieniemy could be this generation's Josh McDaniels, as in the product of the GOAT. Like he's the Mahomes product and McDaniels was the Brady product. Patrick Payton will transfer. He's the star defensive end on the Seminoles as he apologizes to Nole Nation. DJ Uiagalelei's in the transfer portal, and he may return to the ACC. Florida State and Louisville are top suitors. Mississippi State interested as well. The favorites to land Oklahoma quarterback Dylan Gabriel are the Oregon Ducks. So that would be a nice replacement for Bo Nix. So Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, Bo Nix wins it over Michael Penix. Bama, Georgia draws 17.2 million views, so that is a big number for that game. So there was a new FBS subdivision proposed, as schools that can choose to be part of subdivision can compensate athletes through trust fund and NIL. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show says that Florida State belongs in over Texas. So he must has a problem with Texas. I think Texas belonged over Florida State. Texas wasn't the team that lost their star quarterback, and Texas won at Alabama, who also made the playoffs. So Texas belongs, and honestly, Florida State does not. They lost their quarterback. If they won 13-0 with Jordan Travis, I think they would have made it, and Alabama would have been out. That's what I think would have happened. And then if it was Alabama over Texas with Florida State in with a healthy Jordan Travis, then I would have had a problem. And then there was a wild selection process for bowls, as the ACC didn't plan for a Florida State snub and had to pick Notre Dame's bowl game out of a hat. Yikes. So that's crazy. They're honestly delusional, the ACC. The NHL draft will take place at the Vegas Sphere on June 28th through the 29th, so that's exciting. Suarez is close to signing a Miami deal, as Miami is signing another one of Messi's old teammates. And then sad news, Norman Lear passes away at the age of 101. Writer and producer who revolutionized TV comedy with All in the Family. That's very sad. Rest in peace, Norman Lear. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. All right, my best bet, I wonder if it's like minus 5,000 for Juan Soto to the Yankees at this point. After last night, I would have made it at like plus 150. Half unit today. I'm gonna go. There's two I like. I love the Raptors minus 3.5 against the Heat, and the other one I love was in college basketball. It was another underdog, Texas plus 8.5 against Marquette. The one I'm gonna go with, oh my God, betting on the Raptors to me is just betting on the number. No Bam, no Harrow. Then Texas plus 8.5 at Marquette is just enticing too. Ooh. Texas or the Raptors? I'm going to go with the Raptors only because of the injuries. -3.5 against the Heat. Half unit on it. There we go. Best bet. All right, that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look ahead to everything. Tomorrow we'll recap the Survivor Masked Singer episodes, and we'll recap Dancing with the Stars' finale as well. Have a great day, everybody.